Jolly holly, jolly holly, jolly holly, jolly holly, jolly holly. Jolly holly, jolly holly are the happiest berries around. Jolly holly, bring magic and fun to town. There's Barry, Beryl and Bloop, they're the merriest group of berries. Jolly holly are small and red and round. Jolly holly, you will never see them frown. They wear little green boots. Barry, Beryl and Bloop are here today. Jolly holly.
Snow had fallen. Everywhere was a carpet of glistening white. In a quiet garden in the little village on the hill, a holly bush stood, as it had for many winters, proudly showing its shiny curly leaves and bright red berries. A gentle breeze found its way amongst the branches of the holly bush. The branches shivered, causing some very special, brightest and roundest berries to fall to the ground. They hardly made a sound, just a gentle plop in the soft, fluffy white snow. The freshly fallen snow began to stir something in the little red berries. They began to grow bigger and brighter. They were not ordinary berries, and there was magic all around. It was Christmas Day, the most magical day of the year. The snowflakes were magical, and the holly berries were coming to life. The first berry to open its beady little eyes was Barry Berry. Looking up, he saw a single snowflake falling from the highest leaves of the holly bush and then onto his face. Blinking to move the snow from his eyes, Barry then heard a squeak, then a plop. When he looked down, he saw he had sprouted little feet. Barry stared. As Barry continued to stare, his feet moved further and further away as his legs grew until they were a perfect jolly holly size. The same magical thing happened with his hands and then his arms. 2 more berries had opened their eyes and grew legs and arms and hands too. Beryl and Bloop had joined Barry, and all 3 were lying in the snow, waving their arms and legs everywhere. Christmas Day had worked its magic on the very special group of little berries. They were all jolly holly berries, happy and full of fun. Barry Berry had managed to turn himself the right way up, and as he sat there, he noticed he had a single wisp of very straight green hair on the top of his round head. He noticed that Bloop and Beryl had a single wisp of green hair too. Beryl's hair was quite curly, while Bloop's hair was slightly wavy. For the first time, the little group looked at each other. They all realised they were wearing matching green boots and gloves. 3 squeaky voices then burst into the cold night air as soon as they realised they could talk.
"Where are we?"
asked Barry. Their home was the holly bush, but now they wanted to explore. They shuffled closely together and they had a good think, twiddling their wisps of hair to help them. Life on the ground would be different from their life safe in the branches of the old holly bush. The Jolly Holly team were about to start the first of their many adventures. They would meet creatures, make homes, find more friends and discover they had some family too. Beryl stood up and looked around a bit more. "Look," she said, "a hole," pointing to a fence next to an old potting shed. One at a time, they all squeezed through the hole in the fence like 3 little peas popping out of a pod. Scurrying away, the tiny adventurers found themselves in the lane very close to the house. Beryl stopped to look around and saw some frozen water, all flat and shiny. "Look, a lake," said Beryl, pointing and then waving her arms in excitement. The lake was really a frozen puddle, but to Jolly Holly it was a beautiful shining lake, just right for skating.
"Let's go skating,"
said Barry. Looking down at their little soft shoes, the 3 berries realised they needed something to protect their feet and help them go faster too. Stale and crusty pieces of bread lay discarded by some birds. Tying these pieces to their feet with garden string, the 3 adventurers were soon wobbling and then balancing on the ice. Swish, 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 the skaters giggled and squealed with delight as they moved faster and faster across the lake. Bloop was being pulled by Barry using garden string around Barry's waist. Barry soon noticed that the edge of the lake was appearing rather quickly, and suddenly he dug his bread crusts into the ice to try and slow down. Bloop was not watching at all. It all ended with high-pitched squeaks and squeals from the little group as Bloop thumped into a stone at the edge of the lake. He was not hurt at all, but enjoyed the fuss that Beryl made of him. Quite a lot. The stone lay under some grass still covered in frost. At first the berries sheltered under the grass until they noticed a dark place under the stone. Barry, the bravest berry, decided to look underneath. The stone sheltered a creature which had been woken from its hibernation by all the noise. 2 large, very sleepy eyes peered back at Barry, then disappeared back into the hole. It had been quite frightened by the unfamiliar yet much smaller red roundy person with roundy ears and nose. Barry was quite frightened too, and quickly led Beryl and Bloop up onto the top of the rock to be safe. They began to feel better, then braver, and decided to go back together to look at the rock creature. The berry group peered over the edge of the stone. They could feel movement on the ground beneath them, which shook their rock and made their tiny feet tingle. Slowly the creature's feet appeared as it unrolled what looked like long, bony fingers. A green, slimy body followed these. The creature had a slightly pointy head on top of which were 2 large lumps. These lumps were eyes, and suddenly 2 sleepy eyelids slid right back at 3 surprised berry people.
"Hello,"
said Barry very bravely.
"Hello to you all.
Said Croaks the frog.
Fancy a hop?"
Asked Croaks. What's a hop? Asked Beryl, ready for adventure.
"Climb on my back and I'll show you,"
boomed Croaks. One at a time, they slid from the rock onto the frog's back, which was very slippery. Looping the string they had used for skating around the frog's chin, they all held on tight. 3 large hops later, the 3 berries were back near the hole in the fence. Back in their garden, Barry, Beryl and Bloop found a warm place under a large tree trunk where autumn leaves still lay. Tiny nightcaps covered their hair. Yes, Jolly Holly had hats too. But hats are a story for later. Good night, Jolly Holly.
Jolly Holly, Jolly Holly are the happiest berries around. Jolly Holly, Jolly Holly bring magic and fun to town. There's Barry, Beryl and Bloop. They're the merriest group of berries. Jolly Holly are small and red and round. Jolly Holly, you'll never see them frown. They wear little green boots